Welcome, everyone. Today is October 16th, 2025, in this historic biblical um, Red October. And so many things are happening. Um, we can see that our republic is being restored with our previous shows with Sheila Holm. And Sheila and 107 will be joining us tomorrow, Friday, the 17th. You can't make this stuff up, on the 17th of October. And we will be having a phenomenal show with them tomorrow. We'll record that and we'll get that out as soon as possible. Tonight, though, we're going to talk about a couple things. And I know, Mike, you had asked before we started the show on how we've come to the point we were the Crankers panel, the Crankers pip, and now we are the Royal House, so we the people. And to describe how we came up with that, I'm going to let Miss Anna Marins tell us a story because this is her creation and her creative mind. Anna, will you tell us about how we came about of the Royal House of We the People, please?
So the Royal House of We the People came out of an inspiration that God Himself or Christ in me told me how I should proceed after having. I always paid attention on travels from President Trump and Melania beside him, and especially when they go to UK. It's very significant for the history of humanity. And because of the history of the place, of the history of Atlantis, everything, it's all related. And that's how they are symbolizing by the travels. They are making the statements, the flag steps for us, markers for us. So I was paying attention to his schedule after he was invited by King Charles to visit Windsor, which is the residential house of the Royal House of Windsor. And I said, there's something here because back in 2017, when he was elected and he got into office, he said, I'm transferring the power from the establishment. I cannot quote as beautiful as many people can do, but I remember clearly, I remember him pointing out, I'm giving you back the power. So we represent this movement that we are part of, and we have always been part of, is establishing the real royal house, those who were reborn or who were taken back to the fight and to life because of the Christ in us. That's what makes us Christ's children, not a bloodline, not a surname, not a place. That's why we are not going back to Camelot. We are moving forward and ahead, always above, sempre supra, like the Space Force motto. And the Royal House came to me as an inspiration. So I created it. I don't want. This is not a coat of arms. We are not using this as our coat of arms. We have the Constitution inside of the Oval Office. This is our love letter to God, how we are going to proceed from now on. And us as people of His land in this earth, we are doing His work together. And this is just a symbol. And I can say I'm making fun. I'm having fun creating this Royal House of We the People. I'm sorry, this is very much used. It was one of the first that I did. This is my coaster for my mug, but we have mugs here with a symbol and the Royal House of We the People, exactly like it is written in the Constitution, because the Constitution of Brazil was based in the United States, that is now in the Oval Office. So I'm not here to say, oh, we are royals now. We're always royals. But some people forgot. Some people made us not believe that we could, and now we can. We are doing it, and we are doing it together. So this is the coat of arms. I'm sorry, it's flipped. Okay, this is not flipped. This is not mirrored. It's because of the camera. But I'll send you, Mike, um, many products that we are launching here in Brazil, and many people love it. They ordered like for their families. We released, we offered to the people mugs, the coasters. We started from the inside out. Okay, first your study place with your mouse pad, your mug, and there's a tote coming very soon, a canvas tote with a logo in it. It's a beautiful work, and it's not mine; it's ours.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome,
beautiful.
Anna. Yeah, and we'll be working on, those products in America and North America too. So, and to back up what Anna's saying is when Donald Trump had his speech in 2017, his inauguration speech, when the military walked in behind him, that was the first time that's ever happened. And that's when Trump said that today is a very special day because we're not transferring power from one administration to another, nor from one party to another. We're transferring power from Washington, D.C. back to you, the people. And that's what Anna's talking about, is now we are the royal house of we, the people. And there is no more royalty other than all of us, we, the people. So I want to thank Anna for bringing that to everyone. And I know the people in South America are really loving the product. So I'm very proud of you for what you've done there. So tonight, what we want to do is we want to move forward. We want to talk about, this book came out a long time ago when COVID came out. And Mike, you and I were talking about this before we got on the air here. And what do you got, a strobe light going there, Anna?
I'm being enlightened. This is the solar flash, maybe?
Sure. So,
Sorry, special
no,
effect.
so, Mike, if you would pull that file up, and this is 107, and for those of you that don't know who 107 is, 107 has become like the people's general. Juan has taught us so much. And I want to take a couple pages out of his book of The Kid by the Side of the Road. And anyone who has not bought The Kid by the Side of the Road, I highly encourage you to do so because it's a treasure. It's historical. And Juan has done an amazing job on describing this war that we're in, this spiritual war that we have been in our whole lives. And we are now ending this war. And it's not going down without a fight, but we're going to win this war. Mike, would you read from that first paragraph on page 40 from during the COVID crisis, please? And then
Yep.
we'll have a roundtable about what this says. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. During the COVID crisis, we as a nation have thrown open our doors and windows. While the storm rages, we are cleaning out the garbage and the debris, exorcising the verminous traitors. Their wicked and wretched stink. Shortly, we will begin washing the walls and sweeping the floors with high hopes, and soon we will be enjoying the cleanliness of a demon-free house. A demon-free and wine-swept house. But what's going to occupy our clean house on the far side? After kicking all those demons out and getting our country clean, starting to get back onto track, do we fill the house with godly things? Do we fill the house with the Spirit of God? Or, as the Bible says, once the demon is cast out, and goes to dry places, he then comes back and sees the house he formerly lived in. It's swept, ornamented, cleaned with decorations. Does he then go out and get 7 other demons worse than himself to all come back and take control over the house again, then making the fate of man worse in the second condition than it ever was in the first? After sweeping all these monsters out, I would contend that as we people and our nation come out of this crisis with clean houses, hearts, and minds, and then just return to business as usual, means that we were wide open for something far worse and far than ever was there before President Trump and the Q team came along. They can help us to a certain point, but then it's up to us, the people, to become what we're supposed to be. All the Q team and President Trump can do is their best effort. Then it's up to us to decide how we're going to take the country forward. And if we don't, if we don't do it proactively, filling ourselves with godly things, these other demons are going to come back, at which point our problem returns, but much worse. These globalist monsters are going to be back with a passion.
God willing, after the second administration by President Trump, we're going to be faced with a big question. What's next? Will there be people of substance able and willing to take the helm after this administration is gone? Who will take the baton? You see, part of the whole thing that people don't understand with the Q operation is that the core of it is to train a new generation to grow and mature into power. The Q project was aimed at gamers, younger people with inquiring minds and the skill sets to educate themselves. Just like a gamer has to go through a new game to find out how to play it, what tricks are there, and how to advance past certain obstacles. They have to learn to try in different techniques until they overcome and set challenges to get to the next level. When their skill sets match the present stage they are at, a gamer can progress to the next one. People have to educate themselves, and then people must come into the Q project. Who will educate themselves? I understand there are a bunch of people out there that don't believe the Q operation is real, but it is. The level of sophistication is at the outer edge of a current supercomputer's capabilities envelope. Artificial intelligence is evolved in helping to correlate all the Q posts down to the very second, controlling information so that it overlays layers perfectly the thousands of posts a day. The real goal of the Q operation is not to find out who Q is or who the Q team is. That's the missing point. The end of today's battle, the goal is that you become a mind that you are the Q team, that you're a member of the Q team. All those people who participated, who learned, who spent hours, I can tell you I have, we were educated at the Q University. We're all graduates. They are PhDs in the Great War to free mankind from these banker monsters who kill presidents, take over economies, and bleed us off like vampires. Your labor, your work, your sweat, been going all to them. Your land has been stolen away through the banker frauds and scams. Your sons have been sent to war on foreign soil, many sent home in parts and pieces. The idea that you must choose to graduate from the Q team to be a member. That's how we know if the Q operation has actually been successful. People must understand it's not about the individual, a guru, a single person, or even a family. It's not. Which of Trump's kids or some of the elite family's child is going to become the next president? If you're looking for that, you're misunderstanding this. We are done with the Masonic reigns. We all have to take on that responsibility. We all need to understand we're all each that kid by the side of the road who grew up in the shadow of these events when our nation was stolen from us. If we can see that, we've all won. It'll be a very sad day if we have, out of this current turmoil, a bunch of sheep bleeding, looking around for a new shepherd or master who's going to lead us out of this. If that's what we're going to do, then we failed. We're doomed. We must each grow up, rise to the occasion, and become leaders ourselves, each ready to take a position at the helm. It's the only way we survive. But if people remain ignorant, looking for somebody to lead us out of the next tragedy, someone to be our leader, to make all the decisions for us and protect us, then you're absolutely an effing a-hole, an idiot. And if you're promoting that you're not helping, nobody's promoting someone coming to the next savior for America. That's bullshit. The people of America are the savior of America. Every man is sovereign in his own home, taking on the identity as Q, with every person wearing a Q hat, or a vestige of some sort that unifies us all as being the same team, having the same ideas. It's not a certain individual or family we need. If you're looking for that, you're doing a disservice to the whole American project. It's all about us understanding who we are together, what things affected us, created us, and made us have to be in this fight together. About the Civil War, President Lincoln said, "We haven't asked for it, nor desired it. The war was thrust upon us, but we will shrink from our duty or our responsibility. We are in a holy war for our country, for our land, for our people, for our families. We are all that kid by the side of the road."
Oh, wow. Just wow. Wow, Maximum. This is exactly I haven't well, I have the book, but I haven't read it as carefully as I should. And I always in my lifetime I use the term we, not me. It's another phrase of you, Cranker, that you used a lot, because we are Q before we know Q. And that's the main goal. That's why we offer our time to this, because this is not for us, this is not like a job, this is not a mission. This is, if I don't have this, God can take me away. I'm done. So that's what it represents for me. And when I read and I listen to Juan's uh, uh, paragraphs, it's just like listening to myself. And it's listening what I have inside of me. And I think the main goal here and the main goal of Christ is not to teach by words, but by the feeling of it. Because sometimes words confuse, create misunderstanding. It's as you said, we have especially in Portuguese, we don't have a clear language, so it's not easy to comprehend. But one person can understand energy, and the energy, how you feel, how you make the other one feel included and feel part of this family. Although we are all different families, we are all sovereign beings. We are doing this because what we have inside of us. And that's what makes us really royalty in his eyes. And if you don't have this, I understand. When you have this, if you do have this, I do understand why you are listening to us. And because it's like a breath. God breathed inside of us, and that's why we keep going. I don't know, I'm rumbling, and
No,
I just love listening to well, I was completely hectic today, and now that we are doing what my essence is, I'm okay, let's do it. It's graceful, it's, you see, it's gracious. It brings peace because we are doing what's necessary, what's good for us.
thanks, Anna. It's really many of us that have been in this movement, going all the way even back to -48. We've learned about gematria and the Q plan and the Q post, the military Q post. This, there was no alternative. And if you listen to Juan talk about this, and even Mike, -48, there was no turning back. The COVID was all about the reset. And this reset has happened before, and they've damn near wiped us all out in previous resets. And they were going to take 90% of us out with COVID, with the shots. So I know that there's many of us and many podcasters and many people in this movement, we've dropped everything to get in this fight. And it was necessary because we had to, the very first lesson we learned in this Q plan was to humble our ego. And the reason why -48 taught us this is because everything we learned was a complete bullshit lie. And that was the whole message for Q. Q was a school to reteach, to re-educate all of us. And now they've educated us so that we can educate the rest of the population as this moves forward and we take out the enemy. So I really wanted to do this podcast, and I'm glad we did it before we got on with Juan and Sheila. I know Anna, and I know Mike, and I know many of the podcasters that'll listen to this. We do this with a passion. We don't do this for ego. We do this to help humanity through this transition. And this is a calling. And if you look at Juan's very first video, it's called The Calling. Juan knew, and he's been, I call him the people's general, because he's taught us so much. And we've all learned from each other in this movement. And it's emotional for me because, excuse me, many of us lost our friends, we lost our family, we lost people that work with us because of the MK Ultra and the brainwashing that they've done to us, the evil enemies done to us. And the Q plan has taught us not only the truth, but also stood how we can stand in the Christ moment. And that is, we can stand in our truth. We can be sovereign. And Trump told us to take the road least traveled. And many of us took the road least traveled. And I just wanted to bring this to light because there's a lot of patriots all over the world that are doing what we're doing. And there's a reason why we did it, and that's because the media has lied to us all these years. Every war was a lie. I have a dear friend of mine who lost his son, and I won't name names, but there's many people that are going to learn that it's sitting the VFWs and the legions, and they thought they fought for our freedom, and they didn't. And when they learn the truth, it's going to be very hard. And we have to shine the light. We have to be there to help them get through all this. This is called the Great Awakening for a reason. And all the slings and arrows that we've taken, because we are part of Q. We are Q. And we're those students that had to reboot our brains and learn the truth because we've been lied to. And we'll have Gene Decode on next week, and we'll go even deeper. But we're so blessed to have, our guests with Rob Cunningham, who does a great job on the financial side of things and the Federal Reserve. So a shout out to Rob. And then Sheila Holm, what a historian and what a teacher, and the things that she's brought to the table. And we're honored to have her too. Excuse me. And then there's Juan. I call him the people's general because he's been teaching us all along. And this is a grown-up moment. This is a time that we should rejoice. We should be humble. But also we've got a lot of work to do. And we'll play, we played it in the last video, but I want to play it again, Mike, and that's General Flynn, because General Flynn will echo what we just talked about. So I wanted to say those things after Anna brought up her side of it. Mike, do you want to add anything to what we just read?
No, I mean, you guys have both articulated very well your positions and, what your personal journey or journeys have been. I too, we all have that. And we all could probably spend 2 hours just telling our story of where we're at, where we came from. When I started in 2020 with the election, I had no idea what I was getting into and what I was going to uncover when it came to, the fraud. And, the first time I listened to Juan, he was on, I think it was Nino's show. And my whole concern was, okay, when is Trump coming back? I mean, the election was stolen. So it was just all about bringing him back. I didn't know anything about, the evils of Hollywood, the evils of our culture, our governments, global evil. And I look back on where I'm at now, and I could not, if I didn't go through what I went through in this progression. I say it all the time. I have to re-listen to President Trump's 2017 inauguration speech over and over again, because every time I hear it, I pull something else out of it because it's so full of things that are to come. And I think with we the people, as Anna said earlier, we are a sovereign nation. We are a republic. It may sound great, but to some people, it's going to be ugly. We're literally going to go back to a time of, we've been so dumbed down by technology. I'd say it with the dishwasher. I told Jim earlier, or Cranker earlier about this. I mean, we've been dishwashered, and we got to go back to washing dishes. We got to go back to our local communities and do things in our local communities, because I guarantee you this, there are people that live in communities that work 20 miles from their community. The only time they see their community or talk to their community is when they're tired, or maybe on a weekend. They spend maybe 2 hours a week in their community. And I think what's going to happen through this, through the we the people, our people are going to become our community. It's going to just start going to a level of this, because right now with the internet, we can communicate with people in Australia and wherever it would be, but we don't know our neighbor. And that's why Jesus says, when he says that, what's the greatest commandment? Love your neighbor as you do yourself. And, that's what we're supposed to do. And so I think it's looking at it through humility and looking at it through a humble lens where, I'm eager and excited to know what that next chapter is. And I think, General Flynn is in that position to really give the boot in the butt to a lot of us sitting on the sidelines thinking that, okay, when's Trump going to do this? This is going to happen. There's going to become a point where he's going to step to the side and say, it's your team now, guys. We've got to gather that up.
He gave us the executive orders, and we'll put a link after this podcast, all the executive orders. President Trump, our commander-in-chief, has given us all the tools with our executive orders.
Yep.
And now it's up to all of us to use those executive orders. And when we do things, I want to stress this, do things peacefully. But use your throat chakras, use your voice, use the paperwork that Trump is giving you with the executive orders. Tell this local government, tell this county, tell this city, tell the mayor, tell the school boards. Do you know about this executive order? Do you know about this executive order? Do you know that we're a republic and we disclosed that? We were one of the first podcasts that disclosed that with Sheila Holm. We're now back to common law. And with everything that's going on in our military, with cleaning out our military, now we need to clean out our governments. And you see the things that are being exposed now. They're coming out on Facebook. It's coming out on TikTok. It's coming out on just about every platform there is social media. And many people are going, well, why isn't it coming out on the TV? It's just what we were talking about earlier. Trump told us in 2017, he's given the power back to we the people. And this is why we're doing this podcast. It's important that we speak the truth. As painful as it may be, your friends or family may not want to hear it, but it's the truth. Why did Jesus get crucified? Because he was speaking the truth. Why do you think these Jesuits and these Khazarian and these Zionists have ruled our earth? Because we didn't speak the truth, because they kept telling us, oh, you're anti-Semitism. Oh, that's politically correct. It's all bullshit. The truth is the truth. And when Jesus flipped the tables on the bankers, those weren't wooden tables. Those are stone tables. You'll learn that Jesus was a badass. And we all need to be a badass. Trump's a badass. Not to a point of physically being a badass, but mentally and spiritually being a badass. We're not putting up with this evil anymore. We're not doing it. And it's amazing to be a part of this. Many of us have sacrificed so much of our lives. I know that COVID affected, it affected my business, but I knew what was going on, so I was all in. Many people didn't know what was going on. I knew that the Agenda 21, I knew about the Agenda 25, and I knew about the Agenda 2030. I knew about the Guidestones, the Georgia Guidestones. I knew about the reset, their reset. And then that's when I really got involved with Q, was in 2017, 2018. And once I learned about Q military, and I learned about a different plan that was going in, and then Juan's book came out in 2020, and that's when I got into Juan's book. There's nothing else that mattered to many of us patriots, and there's so many amazing patriots, so many ex-military. We all came in. We're the Q Army. We're the We the People Army. And Juan will tell you this, Sheila will tell you this, General Flynn will tell you, I actually took the oath with General Flynn online to defend our country. This wouldn't be possible without all the patriots around the world who dug in to give us the truth, to take all the slings and arrows from all the people that say, oh, that's conspiracy theory. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. That's conspiracy theory. Well, listen, we're showing you receipts right now. And what's coming up is going to shock the world. And I'm just telling you, prepare yourself. And for all us patriots, we have to stand in our power. And as much as we want to say, I told you so, we got to be there for them because it's going to crush their world. It really is. Many of the nurses, many of the doctors, many of the attorneys, many professionals, our whole education system was totally taken over. Everything we've learned is all bullshit. Western medicine is all bullshit. They don't cure anything. Our banking system, it's all bullshit. It's usury. It's to enslave every one of us. Every mortgage is bullshit. It's a death contract. The banks don't have the money. They never did. That's all about to change. The Federal Reserve is going away. It's already shut down. It's already fenced off in Washington, D.C. You go to the debt clock, it tells you all the messages right on the debt clock. And the Q military is running the debt clock. And this is biblical. We are ending all humanity in slavery. We're not doing this anymore. And we're not supposed to be dying when we're 70, 80, 90 years of age either. There's technology that came out, and President Trump just posted it a week and a half ago about med beds. These are technologies that they've suppressed from all of us. We're not supposed to be dying and regressing as fast as we are. They poison our food, they poison our air, they poison our water. They put frequencies out with the 5G towers. They took our bells away from us. They took our healing centers away from us and turned them into churches. I'm from St. Paul. One of the most beautiful buildings there is on the face of the earth is the St. Paul. They call it the St. Paul Cathedral. It's not a cathedral. It's not a church. It was a healing center. Mm-hmm. And people will learn that in many of these churches, they say founded. They weren't built. They were founded because this is where the cabal took these buildings down and they turned them into churches. And then when you learn about religion, it's another whole string of indoctrination, because what you're about to learn about spirituality and the true story behind Jesus is going to be totally different you've learned your whole life. So there's so much to be said here. I can see Anna wants to say something. So Anna, jump in here.
I always want to say something. When the Q posts say drink water or watch the water, right? Right, watch the water. And many people think, oh my God, are we having tsunamis? Are we having floods? No. Let me calm you down. Let me be the calm in the storm. It's the following. In Portuguese, the word water comes to agua. Agua. Okay, you can all go and check. I'll spell it for you. AGUA. Agua. So if you do a little play, if you play with the words, with the letters, and we are now talking about gematria, I'll touch base on gematria a little bit. Agua, you have AG, it's the symbol, the element of silver. It comes first. And in the end, you have UA. If you mirror, because these guys that use, that love the gold, we needed to flip a lot of them. So agua, when they say watch the water, is watch the agua. the elements. This is going back to school. We are now going back to school, doing the basics. We all need to learn about the elements of the nature. AGs for silver, which is skyrocketing right now. We are reaching record numbers at this moment. I just saw this morning, and it was 53.41, totally coded for me at least. And the gold AU, agua AU, UA, you flip it, AU, it's for gold. So they are saying drink gold and silver, because every gold and every silver in this land belongs to my Father who lives inside of me. You know, it's all about, when you talk about Saint Paul, Diana, Lady Diana married King Charles in St. Paul Cathedral in 1981. So they flipped a lot of things from that time on. And we know the results. We know the movie, okay? They were trying to flip the essence of us. And she was blessed enough to be gracious and to give her life to teach us, because that's what she did. But now, more recently, President Trump got his 41st, his cover of Time magazine number 41. 41, okay? This is his cover. This is now his cover. His triumph. This is historical, guys. This is a super message. I haven't done the gematria for his triumph because it's not his triumph. It's all Q's triumph. It's we the people triumph. He's the commander-in-chief of all this movement. After a week in Israel, and he set the agreement in Egypt. Why in Egypt? Why in Egypt? Go study Egypt, heart, male. We have to organize the energy in this realm we are. That's what he's teaching us. We are having history lessons through President Trump every single moment, through Melania, through Juan, through us. I don't know what I'm teaching, but I'm teaching the Latin American way. Maybe that is it. But going back to the Time magazine, President Trump was the only president with 41 covers in Time magazine. Time, what does time means? Horus. And he set a peace deal in Egypt, because don't pay attention to Horus, pay attention to President Trump, okay? And also, he said, the Time magazine, really weird. I never liked taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. So he's telling us, pay attention to this. Pay attention, my children. Pay attention, you guys that don't go to sleep, okay? Go do your gematria, please. Time magazine wrote a relatively good story about me. So we are the news now, right? We are the news. We control the media. They want to kiss our asses now. But the picture may be the worst of all time. Worst of all time comes to simple gematria, 188. I'll give you a few results that I got. Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. The Holy Son of God, 188. Judgment is coming. Shroud of Turin, 188. Greatest of all time. So the worst of all time is also the greatest of all time. King Charles of Wales, and he's very respectful to the Windsor family. Although people want to call them out, pay attention. We we are also having manners, how to deal with the enemy. Manners matter. Manners matter all the time. Beware the Ides of March 188. Yeshua is on earth 188. Story of my life. So what I get from out of this time cover, okay, time, I don't want time, I want life. I don't need time. I make my time. You know, we had Life magazine in the past in which President Kennedy was at least 20 times on the cover. 20 equals 107, 107, 17. You can make this up.
Excellent job.
Great job. Great job.
Yeah.
I want to add something to that real quick. And I happened to listen to last night. Nino and Juan were on, and we're talking about specifically what Anna was referring to about the everything that Trump does, and specifically also everything that Melania does. There's a message behind it. I'm talking every move, every placement of something, whether what tie he's wearing, how he moved in a certain way, and they talk specifically about the.
Mike, let me interrupt you. Like walking up the stairs.
That's exactly.
Air Force,
with the umbrella. No. That's fine. That's what they thought. He walked up the stairs of Air Force One right before he left for the Middle East. It wasn't raining. It was windy, and he had the black umbrella that he walked all the way to the top, and he shuts it, and he walks back on, or he walks on to Air Force One. That was a huge sign. What about yesterday? Also, the white horse that the Pope received. Another sign.
Horse.
Pale horse. A pale horse.
It has a lot to do with the new financial system and XRP.
Yep.
And let me just add a little bit. Add one thing. The white horse this is the second time the white horse is coming to the new to us in the news. That girl in the ad, the American Eagles jeans. Okay, one of the ads.
Yes.
In one of the videos of the ads, there was a pale white horse.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the second time. Maybe we had it all. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I think with that, and I think that goes with what I was saying earlier about myself. I'm saying it reflectively to myself when I said about, all I cared about in 2020 was, that Trump's got to get back into office. The election was stolen from him, and what's going on? We got to get, and then we've come all the way to here as I've grown as an adult, so to speak, in this movement. And I see this and say, I'm now starting to see these signs. I'm now starting to see and being awake to that's what that means. That's what that means. I never would have done that before.
How about when Trump said, I am the 45th?
Yes, at the journals. Yep.
46th and 47th president. He was the president. Joe Biden was shot. He said it multiple times in every single rally. He goes, that guy's shot. He don't even know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. He's a goner. He was executed. He was already taken out. And you're going to find out a lot of other people have been executed too. It's all coming down. They're starting to exploit everything. And many people that you think are good, you're going to find out they're not good. Trump always puts people in the spotlight so that they can expose themselves. So there's so many comms that we have followed over the last 5 years. And I know many patriots are tired. We're tired. But this is for all the marbles. This is for the grand prize of life. Because if we don't exterminate all these parasites, each and every one of them, it's going to happen again in the next couple 100 years, or maybe even sooner. Just like Juan said, what we just read.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important that if you don't believe what we're saying, go and read The Kid by the Side of the Road. This has to be done right, and it's got to be done in detail, because when we're gone, and our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren, we're setting the table for all of them. And we have to teach everyone all over again. Our whole education system is all a lie. I'm sorry. If you're a teacher, everything you learned to become a teacher was all brainwashing. And there's many good people. I want to make sure that I say this. There's many very good people, very good souls that are caught in this trap. This is a soul trap. We've been living in a soul trap. This the whole time. I'm 60 years old according to the Gregorian calendar. We could go down that road too, because our calendars are wrong. Our maps are wrong. Everything we've learned has been total lies. And this is what the cabal has done to us. Satan is very deceitful. Our money is not money. It's a debt. Look at it. It says right on the top of it, Federal Reserve note. There's nothing on there. It says currency. A note is debt. We were never going to get out of debt because all we have is debt. We have no currency. We're changing that. We're going back to what President Kennedy signed, and it's still active, and that's Executive Order 11110. And then we're going back to gold and silver currency, something that's backed by commodities, and it's not on our labor. Just like Juan said, we just read to you at the beginning of this podcast. It's so important that everyone hears this. It's not because of me. It's not because of Mike. It's not because of Anna. It's because we've gone to the Q University. And just when we think we've learned so much, guess what? There's another layer. We're learning again today, because this takes time. And I say this to a lot of people, and sometimes they get frustrated with me. Stop following people. Do your research. That's the only way you're going to learn. There's a lot of podcasters out there that are spewing manure. And, you know, Mike and I got involved with something for a couple years, and we learned the hard way because we wanted to believe them. And then until some of us spoke up and asked questions, and then you got condemned. The very same thing the cabal does.
Yep.
You get called a name. You get called a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're not one of us. You're not this. You're not that. Well, the facts are the facts. And you have to be strong enough to call out the truth. And I want everyone who hears this, and the Patriots that have laid their life on the line, who stop doing what they're doing. Many of us are broke, but we're not broke because we know what's coming to us. And many of us learned about XRP and XLM and the blockchain and the stable coins. And we learned about precious metals, and we learned from about foreign currencies, and we're going to a one-to-one currency all around the world. That's the whole purpose of Trump with the tariffs. And so that everyone can do commerce with one another without everyone getting screwed. And we're not going to be shipping all of our jobs and our companies to foreign countries that have cheap child labor. It's not godly. And that's what we all have to do. President Kennedy, we played the speech before the General Valley interview, and we're going to get General Valley back on. It's our duty to do God's work. God's not going to do it for us. He created us in his image. It's our duty and our responsibility, just as Juan put in this message that we just read to you. It's our responsibility to take this new restored republic and do the work. Mike, do you have General Flynn? Can you play General Flynn for us real quick?
Our country was founded upon a set of Judeo-Christian principles and values to make sure that we were a godly country, because that's the fulfillment of who we are as a nation. How do we bring the spirituality of what our country is and why it was created? Because the enemy, the adversaries that we face, it's evil. It is evil. It is godless. The infiltration into our country is the single greatest threat that we face. It's intellectual, it's emotional, it is physical, but it is definitely spiritual. It's good versus evil. Our country is in the place that it is in because the American people have not stood up enough. I'm talking about citizens in their communities. We, the people, we live not in a democracy. We live in a republic. We live in a representative form of government. That means that we, the people, are the ones that are supposed to say how it is that we are going to live. The last 10 elections for President of the United States of America, we averaged 67% turnout for voting for President of the United States. So that's more than 30% of the American people that were registered to vote, could vote, and decided not to vote. We must organize. We must get together. We must have a passion for our country. We have massive, massive challenges ahead, folks, because they're smart. They're smart and they're evil. It's not going to take one presidency. The only way that this country is going to survive another 250 years is if states stand up and come together. This idea of local action is powerful. It is powerful. And so when we go out, when you leave here and you go to your counties, and you go back to your towns and you're in your various groups and your churches especially, you've got to speak up. You have to sound off. People come up to me all the time and they tell me, "Thank you for your service." And I say, well, how are you serving today? How are you serving today? So if you don't remember anything I say, I want you to remember that question. And when you're going out there and you're talking and you're in your different places in life, I want you to ask that same question of the people that you're with. How are you serving our country today? Today. Because if you don't decide to serve as a citizen of this country, if you don't stand up today, tomorrow, the next day, as we go through these next couple of years, because one man cannot do it. You cannot control what Donald Trump is going to do today. You cannot control what is happening in Washington, D.C., but you can take control of what is happening in your life today. You can take control of what you're doing right here, right now, in your county, in your town, whether you're going to decide to serve, whether you're going to decide to stand up for your country. You guys and gals are here to achieve something. You're here to achieve something for this state, right? Whatever those things are, constitutional carry, whatever it is, you have got to decide, how can I help? Can I use my time to get on the phone to make some calls? Do you need some emails done? Do you need some writing done of letters? Do you need somebody to go around and knock on doors? I'm not asking you folks. I'm getting chills talking about it. I'm getting emotional about it. I am pleading. I am going around this country pleading with people. Take this message back. Ask the question, how am I serving today? How are you serving today? And drive it home.
So you can hear what General Flynn said, and General Flynn's talking to every one of us. And his emotions are our emotions. We have the opportunity of a lifetime to change not only America, but we can change Brazil. We can change Argentina. We can change Venezuela. We can change Australia. We can change the UK. We can change all of it. Trump is the king of the world right now. That's why they call him Your Majesty. He has served us all, we the people, our world back. Now it's up to us to do the work, just as Juan said. So with that, I want to thank Anna for a phenomenal job you did. Mike, always thank you for all the work you do and behind the scenes. And we look forward to Sheila and Juan. We're going to do the recording on the 17th, Friday the 17th, and we'll get it out as soon as possible. That's going to be, I'm looking so forward to that. But with that, I want to thank everyone for their time. Please share this out. And I want to thank all the Patriots, all the podcasters, all the ones that we worked with in the past. They've all done a great job. We've sacrificed a lot. And with that, let's end with Kate Smith, as we always do.
And now we take great pleasure in presenting to you the star of our program, Miss Kate Smith.
Hello, everybody. It is my happy privilege to introduce a new song, God Bless America. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean.
Goodbye, Daddy.
Bye, Dad. Don't be late.
No?
White with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet
Right, Pop?
home.
Right, son.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean white with foam. God bless America.
Kind of makes you think of Blake, doesn't it?
My home,
Makes you think of a lot of things. We're going to be in this yet, Mom.
son.
Hi, Mom. Hello, darling.
New song?
Brand new, first time of the year. Brand new, my eye. You know, I threw that song out of Yip Yip Yap Hank 22 years ago. Sounds better now.